Medium-size building for sale in Manhattan, New York. Presentation. Introduction. 108 East 60th Street is a commercial building with C5 zoning code. A C5 zoning is a central commercial district with continuous retail frontage intended for offices and retail establishments. Famous shopping streets, such as Fifth Avenue, Madison Avenue and East 57th Street are C5 districts. Located on 60th Street off Park Avenue in New York, 108 East 60th Street presently consists of 5 floors and 1 sub-level, and 1 commercial elevator, and 15-feet-high ceilings on every floor. In addition, it can be expanded with the erection of an atrium on the roof, a front and back glass curtain facade, bringing the total number of levels into service to 7, for an approximate total SQFT of $13,750 after retrofitting, with a budget of $1 million approximately. The terms of the sale are as follows. Offering price, $35 million US. Yearly taxes $148,000. Delivered vacant. Building structure steel, built from the ground up in 2004. The costly components all in place. Retrofitting should be inexpensive and fast, as they entailed mostly cosmetic alterations. A branded building in this location presents a powerful branding opportunity with high visibility. This is free advertising, and up to your designer and architect to deliver a striking structure and extension of your retail brand. This building is well suited to become an architectural icon that will enhance the image of any operation. We have a business plan that proposes this building to be destined to a single-user retail activity. As such, we believe that rents can yield almost 80% cap rate, which is far above current cap rates in the market. The details of our business plan will follow at the end of a video presentation available at www.sc5w.com/108presentation.html. Please contact me for additional information, or ask your broker to get in touch with us. We work with the public and the brokerage community and have implemented a generous commission structure. We cordially invite you to work with us in procuring a successful sale. More information. First, I would like to discuss the area as a retail hub of global relevance. Because New York is one of the densest cities in the world, you should know that Manhattan is 22 square miles in total, and according to the U.S. Census Bureau, it was visited in 2014 by some 56 million tourists that spent in that year some $60 billion US. It is important to note that the shopping activity is located mostly south of 86th Street and south to Battery Park, and that would be roughly 10 square miles. It is also relevant to remark that the super-luxury retailers with the largest profit margins are clustered along Madison Avenue in the 60s to 3rd Avenue, and that 60th Street off Park Avenue is the last commercial street along the Park Avenue corridor. Moreover, did you know that 60th Street is the corridor used by many comparison shoppers that visit the famed department store Bloomingdale's and traffic back and forth between it and Barney's, New York, another retail institution? These shoppers are a captive audience, captive in Manhattan, that has high prospecting costs and walk armed with generous wallets, ready to spend. Hermes, Chopard, Chanel and Prada, to name a few, have retail locations 2 blocks away from 108 East 60th Street. Moreover, Barney's and Bloomingdale's spend fortunes advertising and creating demand. A retailer operating out of 108 East 60th Street would be able to directly tap this demand. As such, 108 East 60th Street represents a unique and profitable physical plant that can produce large amounts of money in the form of retail sales and/or rental income. This deal is ideally suited for most investors and not only real estate investors. You don't have to be an expert to understand that this offering is a viable investment. Ideally, a qualified buyer would need to have good credit to finance this purchase, as banks are eagerly lending up to 60% of the total purchase price at rates that are the lowest rates in decades, with credit ranging from 3.25% to 4%. Current taxes at $148,000 per year, and retail rents in Manhattan have reached $3,800 per SQFT for the better areas such as Fifth Avenue in the 50s. In rough terms, and taking a pessimistic approach, where rental prices for 108 East 60th Street could reach between $1,800 on the low side to $2,500 of the high side, computing carrying costs and rents, can yield a cap rate nearing 80% initially and more with rent escalations as time goes by, makes this proposition a really good one. With the US dollar still at historical lows, international buyers can take advantage of currency appreciation alone to make a large profit in the years to come, while earning rents or retail sales in US dollars. In the one of the densest city in the world, you should know that according to the U.S. Census Bureau that tracks financial and population data in the United States, Manhattan was visited by 56 million people in 2014, and these visitors spent $60 billion US that year. In contrast, Manhattan is 24 square miles in total, smaller than a small farm, with visitors doing their shopping largely south of 86th Street, and this reduces the shopping area to less than 10 square miles. This means that visitors alone spend $6 billion per square mile in NYC. You should also be aware that the super high-end retailers are clustered from 60th Street to 72nd Street, on the east side of Manhattan, with Barney's New York, the famed department store, and Hermes, and Chopard, Chanel, Prada, Armani all in the 60s and Madison Avenue, and with Bloomingdale's, also an enormous luxury department store, on Lexington Avenue and 60th Street. Shoppers therefore, come to Manhattan in comparison shop from Barney's to Bloomingdale's and use 60th Street as their preferred corridor. SC5W.com conducted foot traffic survey that generated 12,500 pedestrian crossing the 60s and Park Avenue and Lexington Avenue intersection per hour. Our analysis is extensive, and computed foot traffic, probability of entering 108 East 60th Street, number of people the building can serve simultaneously, 500 approximately, and point of sale transaction at $700, 1 pair of jeans and 2 pair of shoes average, and concluded that a marginally efficient retailer could generate gross sales north of $221 million US per year. Imagine what an efficient retailer could sell in Manhattan as a location like this one. Side notes about retail sales. SC5W.com reversed engineered foot traffic for various locations and concluded by observational methods that Hermes is selling north of $700 million from the location at Madison and 62nd Street. Apple is selling also north of $700 million from the 5H Ave location annually. Chopard sells 2-carat engagement rings for $1,089,000 and Hermes can sell ladies' purses for $60,000 each. This is confirmation that 108 East 60th Street can become a true revenue generator for any company with a good business plan. 108 East 60th Street can tap into the demand generated by all these retailers without investing a penny in advertising, simply by creating an attractive and well-designed retail themed environment, only possible when you own the building. Alternatively, as an investor, you can create the environment for your future retail tenant. The location, unquestionably the best in the world, and yet there is more information I can share. 60th Street between Park Avenue and Lexington Avenue has recently seen robust real estate buying activity, with several acquisitions, a $170 million purchase for the building next door, 3 purchase for $48, $56 and $80 million respectively, an assembly to build a super luxe building on the corner of Lexington Avenue and 60th Street, and more activity on 61st Street and Lexington Avenue. It seems that 60th Street is soon to become one of the most upscale streets in Manhattan, with several large developments being built, mimicking 428 Park Avenue and other impressive developments along 57th Street. Please Google the article by the New York Times. The New York Times reshaping Midtown East. New condos coming to Midtown East. 108 East 60th Street will become the most desirable retail location in New York. This concludes this presentation. If interested, I invite you to contact me for more information. Michael Strauss-CASSEL webpage, www.sc5w.com, via email at msc@sc5w.com, telephone, office 1-917-653-7887, mobile 1-917-653-7887, fax 1-917-265-4744, mailing address, Michael Strauss-CASSEL, Co. Douglas Alleman, 575 Madison Avenue, 5th floor, New York, New York, 10022, USA. We work with the public and the brokerage community and have implemented a generous commission structure. We cordially invite you to work with us in procuring a successful sale. Please Google the article by the New York Times article. The New York Times reshaping Midtown East. New condos coming to Midtown East. http://www.nytimes.com/2014/11/02/real estate/new-condos-coming-to-midtown-east.html?_equals 0